There is something both exciting and slightly nerve-wracking about renting a car in a foreign country. On the one hand, it gives you the kind of freedom that public transportation simply can't. You leave when you're ready, and more importantly, you can stop whenever something interesting catches your eye. But every country has its own driving culture, its own road conditions, and its own set of rules. Fortunately for me, New Zealand has some of the most courteous drivers and well-maintained roads in the world. There's just one small adjustment I'll have to get used to: driving on the left side of the road. Alright, so picked up my rental here at the airport, and nice, I like what I have here, but it is a little bit odd sitting here in this position of the car, being a Canadian. But I've driven right-hand drive before, here in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, England, and Thailand as well, and Japan. So I've experience with this, and being a lefty myself, it's actually a lot more comfortable. But you always have to keep it in your mind that, you know, be on the right side of the road, especially at four-way intersections or roundabouts. There's a lot of mental focus, especially when you first start driving with these. Excited to be in the rental, and this is when the real road trip across New Zealand begins. Planning a road trip across New Zealand involves a lot of decisions. Where to stop, where to stay, and how much time to give yourself for the drives in between. I've already done a journey across this country many years ago, and this time I'm following a similar route, with a few tweaks along the way. For the first leg of the trip, after picking up my rental car at Auckland Airport, I'm headed south, towards the small town of Putaruru. From there, I'll make a stop at the beautiful Te Waihou Blue Spring, before continuing on to my first major destination, Rotorua. The drive should take about 3 hours, but with scenery like this, I'm planning to make a few stops along the way. So let's hit the road and begin the first leg of this journey across New Zealand. Alright, and we're off. It's funny, whenever you pick up a rental, you always want to not crash within the first 5 minutes. So let's stop the talking and let's start concentrating on the driving. Most people really stick to the speed limit, and I tend to have a heavy foot, so I'm trying to be a bit careful here because I don't want to get a ticket, especially on this first day of driving. In this trip across New Zealand, I plan to go back to quite a few of the stops I visited when I first came here all those years ago. But I also try to check out some new stops, like this place here. I wasn't here last time, and I'm very glad I made the stop because it is beautiful to see. A wonder of nature. Good morning. We're here on the balcony of my hostel here in Rotorua. It's called the Haka House and a solid choice for a hostel to stay at. I'd highly recommend staying here. It's another beautiful day outside here in New Zealand, even nicer than in Auckland. So we're gonna just start off the day nice and slow by taking a little walk through town, and then we're gonna get in the car and see a bit more of this place. Sorry. And the name Rotorua basically means second lake. Roto means lake and Rua means second. So to an English speaker, oftentimes foreign words sound a lot more exotic than they really are. Like Rotorua sounds magical and something ancient, but it basically means second lake. Rotorua sits in the middle of New Zealand's North Island, on the southern shores of Lake Rotorua. For centuries, this area has been an important center for the Māori, particularly the Te Waihou people, who settled here in the 1300s. They were drawn to the region's fertile land, rich lake resources, and remarkable geothermal activity, using the natural hot springs for everyday needs. Europeans arrived in the 1800s and were soon drawn by those same geothermal features. Over time, Rotorua developed into one of New Zealand's most popular tourist destinations, and today it attracts more than 3 million visitors each year. Rotorua is now home to around 75,000 people. The city spreads out from the western shore of Lake Rotorua with a compact downtown laid out in a simple grid of streets filled with shops, restaurants, and hotels. In the center of town, you'll find places like Eat Street, the city's main dining strip. I can personally vouch for the Crew Craft Beer Club, which serves up a great burger and fries. Nearby are the government gardens, a beautiful historic green space in the city, while Sulphur Point offers a glimpse of the geothermal forces beneath the surface, along with the city's unmistakable scent of sulfur in the air. There's also a beautiful visitor center where you can learn about the many things to do in and around the city, from traditional Maori cultural performances to taking a gondola up the nearby mountain for sweeping views and even riding the famous luge. But today I'm going to start by exploring the natural beauty of the region, heading out to the nearby Redwoods Forest, just about a 20-minute drive from town. So these majestic redwoods here are not native to this area of the world. They're actually brought here in the early 1900s from Northern California. And the reason why is this area was heavily forested in the 1800s. They selected redwood seeds because of the climate, the damp climate, and also the volcanic soil to see if they would grow here, and they sure did. Wow. Spectacular. Some interesting facts about redwood trees is they are the tallest trees in the world, and some can grow up to a height of about 115 meters. So that's basically like half of the Sky Tower, which we visited in Auckland a few days ago, or like basically a football field lying down, put up vertically. these redwood trees could also live up to 2,000 years. So some of them in California today are as old as basically when the Roman Empire was still in existence. And these ones are just over a century old, but it's incredible to see how tall they are, even after just about 125 years. And as we finish the hike today, we see the awesome tree bridge here that I'm going to come back to in the evening. The Redwood Treewalk in Rotorua is open both day and night, and for around 42 New Zealand dollars, you can explore the forest from above. But at night, the entire forest transforms, with lights suspended throughout the trees, creating a completely different atmosphere. The walk itself features 28 suspension bridges and 27 platforms, and takes about 40 minutes to complete. It's an enjoyable experience either way, but having done the night walk, I personally recommend visiting during the day, when you can fully appreciate the scale and beauty of the forest. Rotorua has no shortage of things to see and do, and this was just a small introduction to the town. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and join me on the next one as we continue south towards more incredible sights across New Zealand's North Island.